Oh my God, it is deathly hot in here. Holy jeez. Let's get some air. Let's get some air. Window down. Oh, there's a window down. Holy crap. There's Mini Beast. We're going to talk about Mini Beast. Mini Beast got fed today. We're also going to talk about... Where is he? Mr. Wedge. Okay. Damn you, Dutchman plunge cut. Damn you, Dutchman plunge cut. I got like 7 trees down today. That's not bad. Okay. Exhibit A. I'm going to go. Got another job to hurry off to. I am just drenched. Working on that hill there, which is like this. Like it's a 50 to 60 to 45 degree incline at any step you take. Really tricky, even though the trees were small and on level ground. Like I could probably put all 7 of them down in like 20 minutes or so. But that took me about an hour and a half to put those down. The biggest tree, not quite the size of the steering wheel, so nothing big, but big enough. You know, the tallest one probably 30, 35 feet, maybe a little bit taller than that if you for the scrawny little thing. All white pine. So I'm gonna have a nice big mess next week to clean up. And here's what happened, okay? Like, cause there's a couple of trees there that I know I can't fall with that. With Mini Beast is good, but his bar is only so long, right? So I'm like, I go 1.5 inches at the thick spot of the tree. If my bar doesn't pass the tree by 1.5 inches, I don't bother trying to cut it with this little guy. Now, being white pine, you can get anything with white pine. Just because the tree's alive doesn't mean the center isn't rotten, right? What's going on back there? What are you flapping about? Oh, I locked it. Oh, I probably didn't move the seat ahead. So anyway, fell the first tree, so it wouldn't fall into the second tree or the third tree. Went pretty good. You know, there's you got to watch out when you're, especially when you're around pines and you're on a hill. You really have to watch out for the blind man specials. I'm gonna do a video on that because a lot of guys, especially when they're getting into it, like I'm not the most experienced guy in the world. Check out that nice branding there. But I know enough to know, you know, where my limit is and know enough to be dangerous, right? And I also know what can get you killed. And a tree that size will kill you if it falls you on, you know, like if it breaks on you, right? And lands on your head. And the top tells you where the tree's going most of the time, unless you got a tree that does one of these gymnastic things and you got to kind of sort of take a wild guess at where it's going to go. But usually a tree has a direction. See, like if you look at that birch straight ahead, I don't know if my camera's picking it up, it goes like this. So it looks like it's going to fall that way, but halfway up the tree, it's coming out like this. So it's the top that really tells you where you're going, right? Some people will argue, no, it's this, it's that. Watch the stump, no, watch the top. Everybody has their method, and they're all good. They're all good methods. There's a vine and vice to each method. My methods are pretty good. Now, I haven't done a plunge cut. Embarrassingly, I haven't cut a tree big enough to require a plunge cut in a long time. I got my saws, yeah. Saws got me. Why is that flapping so much? That's pretty slack. I'm gonna have to have words with the guy that tied that down. When it's hot out, you kind of do stupid stuff. Make sure don't be stupid enough to forget to put your vehicle in park. I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen. I've never done it, but the worst I've ever done was put into reverse when it go into drive, but never hit nothing. So scared people, but didn't hit anything. Whoops, my bad. So I'm gonna go like this. There. That'll keep them from flapping. That'll keep his chops from flapping. And then tension on it. There, that's better. I know my vehicle. So anyway, I fell the first, say, 5 or 6 trees. They're all little stuff. And there's another guy coming along, and I'll talk about him in a second. You've probably even seen him on my channel during my trapping 101 stuff. Guy comes out of the bush with the plow truck all the time, Perry. Anyway, he's pretty much a chainsaw guy his entire life. So anyway, he's got the big boy saws, the skidder. He does tree cleanup like I can't do big stuff like that right now with this little guy. As much as I wish I could, but I can't, right? So I'm at the extreme limit of what this saw can do today. Sort of, with a safety margin, right? Because if not, what happened today will happen all the time. So I fell the first one, I plunge cut it. I didn't even bother wedging it. I just zipped them out and blip, 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 popped right off the stump. Okay, I did a bit of a Dutchman, but I'm like, you know, on a hill like this, and that happens, you know, and I kind of rushed it a little bit. But before you even do a cut, I hope I didn't run over that butterfly. Oh no, I didn't. Before you even do a cut, you got to get rid of all the stuff out of your way, so you have a place to run. And that includes the neighboring trees, because you go to run, you'll run right into stuff like this sticking out from especially spruces and pines and stuff like that. And those things, there might not be widow makers, but they will blind you. And that's why I call them blind man specials. And you clear all the trees around you, then you clear all the stuff for your feet, you pick your path, you decide where the tree's going to go, and then you go. So for me, I'm on a hill like this. The water's like right here. I easily could follow them in the water, but I don't want to follow them in the water because I can't clean them up, right? And so anyway, I fall 1, 2, and then I'm following them against their natural lean, right? So the smaller ones, no problem. You can almost push them over anyway. Then I got to the big one where I know that, okay, this one I can't push, and I don't have a come along with me or whatever, and I don't really have anything to rope onto that's close by. So I have to make this cut perfect. So I'm like, okay, I'm following this one, plunge cut, do the wedges. But the first one, like I said, it was a bigger tree. I got through it, no problem. Came out. I left maybe about that much of a trigger. Worked my way out. Blup, blup, blup. The trigger let go. Didn't take the saw with it, which is good. So if you come straight out, usually you're good. But when it starts to go, you give it, because if not, it'll catch the saw and take the saw with it. Maybe you with it, right? But if the saw goes, just let go of the saw. You know what I mean? Just let go of the saw. You know, just make sure it doesn't whack you in the face and cut you in half. So nice textbook plunge cut coming out the rear. Couldn't have done it any better if I tried, right? Landed the tree right where I wanted to. Perfect. The next one behind it was a little bit bigger, and they're not, you know, trees aren't always exactly round. Like this one, you know, they're kind of oval shaped and weird at the stump, you know what I mean? So I'm not right at the stump because I'm on a hill. I cut them up maybe about a foot higher, just because it's easy. It's easier in the sense that your bar isn't hitting the sand on the other side. It's more dangerous in the sense that you're cutting the tree higher and you can get a pop out. It can pop and barber chair on you a lot easier, but that can happen anyway, especially when it's rotting on the inside. So I did my face cut, and the face cut looked good, right? So I got to come back here, but back in a second. So the face cut looked good until a big horde of ants come out the center, and there was just a big black spot in the center and a big hole. I was like, oh, okay, this sucker could actually splinter on me, even though it's not dead. It's just, you know, it's rotted in the stump. You know, anything near the water like that usually rotted at the stump, right? Oh, you can almost bet on it. So I'm like, okay, I'm definitely following this guy with the wedges. So I do my plunge cut. Now the top, I was watching the top, and the top was leaning towards the water a bit, but the tree had a bit of a bow in the middle. And the problem with that is, sometimes when you're like falling against the lean, it'll fall back on itself rather than go So I want the tree to kind of fall sideways against its lean, or away from its lean. So it means I got to spin the tree, right? So I do my Dutchman, but I did the Dutchman on the wrong side, but I did the Dutchman. So he was going to do the dance no matter what, but just which direction was he going to go. I kind of screwed that up a bit. And then I plunged a little bit too low. I should have maybe plunged about 1.5 inches higher. Because what happened, because I haven't done